Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio, UK. Pinoy Radio, UK. Sumasahing papawid, 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Okay, happy Thursday. Magandang hapon ho. Welcome ho sa ating program. Ako po si Sonny LARAGAN. Ito po ang Immigration Corner. So sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok na United Kingdom, good afternoon ho. Teka pala, evening na ngayon, di ba? Kaya ako sinasabing hapon kasi dito ho, springtime papunta summertime, dito ho, maski alas 10 ho ng gabi, maliwanag pa. No? Parang hindi mo ma-feel kumain no. So pero maliwanag pa ho ang sikat ng araw sa labas. Napakataas pa ng araw. Pero alas 7:44 na ho rito sa United Kingdom. Anyway, good evening ho. Good afternoon, good evening sa ating mga kababayan dito sa apat na sulok ng United Kingdom. Sa apat na sulok ng Europa, good afternoon din ho sa inyo, no? Dahil syempre, 1-2 oras lang ang pagitan natin. Good evening, I should say. Kakakorek ko lang. Tapos sa buong mundo, well, magandang araw, good day, no? Dahil kung saan man kayo bahagi ng mundo, mapa Amerika, Canada, mapa Middle East, mapa Pilipinas, magandang araw ho sa inyo. Para hindi na tayo mamili ng oras kung umaga, hapon o gabi, no? So, welcome mo sa ating program. Ako po si Sonny LARAGAN. Ito po ang programang Immigration Corner. Dagdag kaalaman, no? Para hudo sa mga kababayan din natin. Hindi lamang siguro dito sa United Kingdom, baka may mga kamag-anak kayo nasa Pilipinas na ang concern ay papunta rito, no? Immigration or immigrating to the UK, mga bagay na tungkol sa visitors visa, no? Kung tawagin natin tourist visa, no? Visitors visa. Yan ho, may malalaman nyo sa programa natin na ito, no? Okay, well, hindi ho ako ang star of the show, no? Wala naman ako alam sa immigration. Pakikilala na natin yung ating star of the show. Ito, ako si Sonny, no? Sonny LARAGAN ho. Pero pagka nakikita ko ho to at nasasama ko sa program, parang ho yung sikat na singing duo noong 1960s. Ang pangalan ho, Sonny and Cher. Yung ako si Sonny, yung kasama nung si Sonny Bono, isang singer ho yun. Kasama niya mahaba ang buhok si Cher, no? Sarkisian ba ang apelido? Kasi parang parang may Armenian lahi si Armenian, parang lahi ng Indian, yung native Indian sa Amerika. Alam niyo naman di ba, nagkakalahi-lahi na, pagka nag-aasawa. Anyway, so ako si Cher, ako si Cher. Ako si Sonny, pakikilala ko ho Cher natin dito, na CHER. Siya ho ang ating eksperto sa larangan ho ng immigration. Siya ang ating immigration expert. Siyempre, walang iba, kundi yung ating pinakamamahal na managing partner ho ng Douglas Simon Solicitors. Walang iba kundi si Attorney LIRA SIMON-CABATBAT. Happy Thursday, Attorney!
Sonny, happy Thursday po. Tama ka. Sonny and LIRA, no? Sonny and Cher.
Sonny and LIRA, Sonny and Cher. Oh. Have you seen Cher? Is it Sonny and Cher? And
yeah.
Yung kumanta ng with her big brown eyes, she came my way. Ano pa kanta yun? I didn't know then. Maganda yung kanta na yun yung kay Sonny and Cher, it became, and then I Got You Babe, no? That's another song.
Of course.
So kasi long flowing hair ka at saka talagang dark na black hair talaga si Cher. Kaya lang baliktad lang tayo. Nandito ako sa bandang kanan, ikaw nasa kaliwa, no? Dapat nandito ako sa kaliwa para Sonny and Cher or Sonny and LIRA. Diba? Oy, happy Thursday, ha? How are you? How was your week?
Actually, it's been of course Easter time, huh? No.
Yes. So how was your Easter? How did you spend it? Oo, anong nangyari? Wow.
I was working mainly, no? Yeah, so I was lakwatsa ng konti, pero konti nga lang, cafe here, there, dahil maganda nga yung, it was sunny.
Okay,
But
okay.
but otherwise, yeah, it's very busy at the moment. It's really, really busy. So I was mainly in the office, working away over the Easter period. But I was actually looking forward to today, no?
Okay.
No, I love Thursdays, no?
Okay.
I enjoy, ewan ko, kanina nga, meron kang kliyente. I mean, I'll give them a shout out. Sabi ko, no,
Okay.
can I say hello? Miss
Yeah, yes.
the white things, nakita. So sabi ko nga sa kanila kanina, I was so excited with it's the Happy Thursday.
All right, okay. Well, the Whitings, happy Thursday. Ako naman, well, teka muna. There was one time that you mentioned about sa movie house diyan sa, was it Barnes or Sheen or nakalimutan ko na kung ano. You were telling me about this, parang isang movie house. Bukas ba sila? Wala ka pa bang napanood na pelikula lately?
The last one is yung
James Bond yata yun. Godfather. I'm sorry, Godfather pala. Yeah, oo.
Olympics ang pangalan. Olympics.
Anong lugar yan? Barnes Sheen or saan ba yan? Barnes.
Malapit sa Barnes mismo.
Sa Barnes. So, okay. I guess, well, I was just wondered kung bukas sila ng weekend, no?
I don't know actually.
Hindi na. Weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, itong bank holiday, itong Easter weekend.
Bank holiday.
Bank holiday weekend.
Siguro. Ikaw anong ginawa mo over the Easter? Anything exciting?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking of wala si Sol kasi, no? So I was thinking of hindi ako pwede mag out of town because when I was listening to the news, 11 million motors daw. Ayoko nang sumingit doon at baka mamaya, alam mo na, sayang din yung petrol kung you'll be stuck in traffic, no? Diba? Mahal-mahal ngayon ng petroleum, ng petrol. So I just went on a Saturday, went to my daughter for a barbecue with her. So nag-barbecue kami. Oh, nice. So we're planning again probably to have barbecue again this Saturday kung magandang weather. Pero pangit,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, yun lang. So far, yun lang. But today, the reason why I'm a bit dressed up is because I came from the embassy today. We just had hindi na kita pinasama because ang supposedly gustong ma-meet nga ikaw at saka si Dana. Pero alam ko kasi on a Thursday busy kayo and I don't want you to get out of your di ba? So kami na lang nila Maria at saka ni Peps ang yan. So we had we met we have this what do you call this yung courtesy call sa ating new congen. Well, she started December, pero new pa rin in a way, no? So, ayan, si congen Renita Rodriguez, no? So, ayan.
Ooh.
So, you have their Pinoy Radio UK, yes, Philippines, and, of course, Channel Philippines, Filipino TV Europe. So, ayan, no? Mabait yung atin. Ang cute ng ating congen. Pakita mo ulit yung congen natin, Pao. Ayan,
Wow.
Ayan. So, ayan, yung nakikita mo suot ko, yun ang suot ko kanina. Same. Diba? Ayan ang attire ko. Hindi na ako So, I came directly from the embassy to our studio. Ayun.
It looks lovely, the embassy. It's looks quite impressive, oh.
It's also a nice opportunity seeing the congen attorney dahil lately hindi ko na kilala kung sino yung mga consuls, yung mga staff ng embassy. Dahil isa COVID for 2 years hindi natin napuntahan yan. Secondly, I've been trying to lie low. I would there was a time ang dami kong pinag-MChan left and right dito sa buong United Kingdom. Parang it's well, okay lang, may babayaran yung mga lahat papunta ron mag-MC. Pero yung hassle ng traveling, di ba? Minsan, pag ngayon, nag-MC ka ngayon, another MC ka na following week, iba naman lugar, ang layo. Yung traveling din, nakakasawa na. So, I lied low for a while, not even attending embassy events, and then I'm just kind of selective with the occasions I will be MCing, no? Ayun, biglaan naman yung katige, dahil kaibigan natin, parang very casual MCing lang naman, tayo lang naman yon. It was like a family affair natin, di ba? Nung, kailan ba yan? Birthday diba? Birthday ni Yeah. So, yun bale. Well, tama ka. I miss you every week, no? We miss each other. So, maganda sana. Puputi sana ako. Hindi ko sana ako Kaya para black and ano tayo, pero sabi ko, hindi, suot ko na muna to para at least makita ng mga viewers natin na galing ako sa embassy. Ayan, ito pa
Yeah,
rin ang
no,
suot
no,
ko.
very smart.
Very
Very
smart.
smart. Oh, yun nga.
Wala kang ano ngayon ha, wala kang contest ngayon, ha? Wala kang game, ano?
No, no, hindi nga ngayon. But actually, maybe end of the, bank holiday natin. So, that's bank holiday in
Early
no?
May, May
Oh,
ulit,
yeah,
end
yeah,
of the
yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Oh, end of the month.
Yeah,
Okay,
end of the month.
okay, end of the month.
And
Oo.
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ang May 1 ba? Labor yan, di ba? Dito ba? Di naman yata. It's more of a bank holiday weekend or is it labor connected? So,
I don't really know,
you didn't
actually.
really know, no? Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's probably a reason for it, the bank holiday in May. So yeah, and of course next end of May or beginning of
Meron
June.
na naman.
Meron
Di ba?
naman.
End of
Dahil
May,
nga,
meron na
of
naman
course,
bank holiday. Tama ba? Tama ba? Tama tayo, di ba?
Yeah, pero I think gagawin nila rather than having it end of May, I
Okay.
think dadagdag sa June for the Jubilee.
Teka muna. So wala nang May, they're gonna move it to June? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So
Ah.
rather than end of May, lagay nila in June.
So, di ba, pero lagi tayong May 1 and meron tayong end of May yata, di ba? Start of May and
Yeah.
end of May, yun ang bank holiday natin. Oh, perennially.
Yeah.
Tama ba yung perennial? Yearly? Annually? O,
Yeah.
Ano ba,
Yeah,
ano ba difference sa perennial at annual? Nakalimutan. Anyway, ba't ko ba napulot yung word na yun? Okay. Attorney, we'll have our little game, di ba? Yung ating little game na guest who is the first greeter, no? Who's gonna greet us.
Yeah.
Oh, sige, sino hula mo? Sige.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'm changing it. Actually, I was thinking about it today, in fact. So, I'm changing it up. So, unang-una, I'm going to go with Mystic
Teka
Bao.
muna. When you say changing it up, when you woke up this morning and you were looking forward to it, you were thinking of a different name initially. Does it cross your mind on a Thursday? Uy, magkakaroon na naman ng guest na naman kami. Guess. No? Guess who they know. Okay. Sige, you change your mind, sabi mo.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd go with someone I know with other people. Not so. So Mary, I think May Tigmao. Sorry, Mary. May Tigbao.
May Tigbao.
no?
May Tigbao. Si May Barga.
Okay. I think
Ba?
siya una.
Tama. Okay, ba? Parang, kasi mga nasa running dyan either it's Oliver or si, parang isa na nating laging si
Miss
Marian. Miss Panero. Yan. Hindi, si Marian Panero nga ba? Tama? Si Marian yata.
Yeah,
diba?
Paner.
Okay, so this time it's May Tigbao. Vargas.
Okay, I'm going with Mr.
Okay.
May Tigbao.
Sige, direct, let's see.
Opo.
Sige, subukan natin. Tignan natin. Ayan. Okay. Sino ba? Sino ba ang ating unang-una? Okay. Ayan. Mali pala. Intro muna dapat pala ng number. Ayan. Sila pa rin talaga matibay. Uy! I notice bumati sa atin, unang-una bumati sa atin si Maribel Pascua Favora, the wife of the first ever Filipino mayor in the United Kingdom, si Danny Favora. She was, si Maribel Pascua. Maribel, no? Mabuhay ka, no? We love her. Mahal na mahal natin yan. So, mabuhay. Okay, anyway, si Oliver Fernandez, ang ating una-una. Sige, attorney. Oh, wala kang audio. Baka hindi nakaano siya. Dali lang. Ayan, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Nyo?
Yes.
Okay, so great
Pag-ayos lang direct,
Wednesday, Wednesday, Oliver. Yeah.
Oy,
Everyone.
Thursday
keep
ngayon.
safe and
Thursday, Oliver. Thursday ngayon.
It's okay.
Okay lang.
Kaibigan
natin yan.
forgiven. Yeah. Keep
He
safe
meant-
and
he meant
pay attention
Thursday.
on the road. Yeah. Always. Tama ka. Never argue with a roundabout like I did yesterday, as I confidently maneuvered around it with haste, experiencing surprisingly loud thud, ending up
talaga
with
siya?
a pin flat tire.
Pins
no.
flat tire.
Oh no, I now have less money in the kitty while the roundabout's still perfectly fine. The score stands at 2-0 for the roundabout. Oh, Oliver!
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Okay ka ba? Walang nangyari sa'yo? So, it came out worse.
Oo.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Thursday
So,
nga pala,
yeah.
usually compose my blur
Sorry.
before. Okay lang. No worries. Pero okay yan. Ibig sabihin,
Yeah.
he really thinks, parang prepares and he looks forward to this. So, tama yan, no? Na he prepares.
Yeah. But
So,
okay ka
salamat.
ba, Oliver?
Oo nga,
Yeah,
yun
okay
nga, di
ba?
ba?
So,
Nagkaroon na ba yan? Parang pang yung tire niya, di ba? Sa in the middle, sa ano ba? Tama ba? This is
yeah,
how I understand it. Sa may roundabout. Doon siya
yeah. So
tinamaan.
it's,
Oo.
yeah,
Oo,
but
wala.
okay ka? Walang
Sana
problema, no?
okay.
Maganda.
Oo. Ayan. Sino ang pangalawa natin, attorney? Sige. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Ang pangalawa ko, ang hula ko, Annalyn Antipuesto. Si Annalyn, I
Oo nga,
think.
si Annalyn lumalaban na rin, ano? Parang pumapasok-pasok na rin siya, no? O sige, tignan natin direct kung si Annalyn Antipuesto nga ang sinasabi, ang tamang ano.
Oh, Miss
It's
Paner!
still them. It's still them. It's still them. It's still them. Oo.
Yes.
Yan pa rin ang ating
Hello
mga
po, Kuya.
contenders. Yeah, go ahead, attorney.
So, hello po Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. At sa lahat, happy Thursday po and stay safe always. God bless us po. Tama nga. God bless, Miss Paner.
Tama, God bless sa'yo. Oo, sige, God bless, God bless. Uy, talaga nga naman. Ayan. Sige, direct, sige, let's go.
Okay. So,
Pangatlo. Sino? Oh, yeah, pangatlo.
Okay. I think hindi siya bumati sa atin last week. I missed her, no?
Sino?
Ma'am Cora.
Ma'am Cora Carsola. O, sige. Ma'am Cora Carsola, pangatlo. Tingnan natin, direct.
Okay,
Sige.
tingnan natin.
Yan. Sige, maganda yung mga ano natin. Maaga si Rudy. Great. Okay.
Nga.
Oo.
Tama. So, happy Thursday, elegant and lovely Attorney Lira.
Wow,
And
elegant
always
and lovely,
good looking guys, Sir
Oh.
Sonny and Sir Edgar and lovely Direct Paula and all happy viewers. God blesses all Team Libro. Team Libro, okay.
Mabuhay ang Team Libroho of Northern Ireland. Belfast. Nako, I'm looking forward to go to Belfast, no? Gusto ko makarating uli dyan. Ayan, sino to? Lorraine. Sino yan? Lorraine
Miss
Cantos. Kilala mo to,
Cantos.
attorney?
Yeah. So, hi Lorraine. Yeah. Happy Thursday po everyone. Hi. Kumusta?
Mabuhay ka, Lorraine, ha? Mabuhay. Thank you very much, ha? Mabuhay. Ayan, sino yan?
Gabriel Tejero. No, good day po. Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira. Hi Gabriel. Oh, I like the picture.
Oh, okay. Hi, Gabriel. Oh, mabuhay, no? Si Gabriel, okay. Oh,
The
lady. Si Lady Emmeline. Lady Emmeline.
yun na nga. Yeah, good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday, everyone, and also to Direct Paula. Yeah, no, happy Thursday po, Mr. Pel. I still have your flower. Sa likod ko. Nasa likod ko.
Kita mo, pati director natin. Kasi nga naman, kung binabati, ano, kung di dahil sa kanya, wala tayo rito, no? So, Direct Pao, thank you. All right. Marie Fairbank.
Miss Fairbank.
Hello. Marie, mabuhay ka, no?
She
Mabuhay.
is so energetic, Miss Fairbank. She is astonishing, that woman, no? The talent and the energy. She puts me to shame.
Wow, talaga. Talaga nga naman talaga. Masipag yan. May kaibigan natin. Sila mag-asawa, no? Marie, mabuhay ka, no? Marie Fairbank, okay. Alright. Celso Tagudin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a nice day from
Spain. From Spain. Mabuhay, ha? Celso, mabuhay ka. Thank you very much, ha? Mabuhay ka, Celso Tagudin, no? Pero try to like Filipino TV Europe and then ano mo na rin, doon ka na rin mag-message, no? Direkta. LJ Sit ba yun? Sit?
Nice show, Kuya Sonny. Hi, LJ.
Hi, LJ. Okay. Say LJ. Okay. Ayan.
Yeah, where you watching from?
Oo nga.
Mitz. Hello, Mitz. Yeah.
Kilala mo si Mids? Mids, mabuhay ka, no? Si Mids Dagabak. Siya ang one of our community leaders based, taga Davao, no? Ayan, mabuhay. Good evening din, Mids, Oo.
She's amazing also, no?
Yeah, she's amazing. Ito yung hinulaan mo.
Yun na nga.
Ikaw hinulaan ka, sabi ni attorney, ikaw yung nasa top 3, no? Ayan, okay, no? Ano sabi niya?
Yeah, amazing evening, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny, and to everyone. Happy Thursday po sa lahat. Analu, next week, you have to be in the top 3, okay?
Yeah, sikapin mo maka top 3 kasi bet ka ni attorney, no? Ayan. Okay, so after Analu Antipuesto, sinito? Oy.
Jared Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah,
oh.
Jared. I love the
Ganda
name.
pa,
Jared
no?
Jonathan. Yun na nga,
Jared,
parang
Jonathan.
artista nga, no?
Oo.
Hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Jared. Mabuhay ka, no? Ayan.
Jared, Jonathan.
Okay, alright.
Okay. So, good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira from Paulo. Paulo Ainsa Luna. Hi,
Oh, yes.
Paulo.
Hi, Paolo.
Where are you
Thank you.
watching
Thank you for, yes, mga pagbati ninyo, no?
Oh,
Okay, alright. Sige.
more,
Okay, si Edgar.
our friend Edgar Duay, no? Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Mga classmate, lalong-lalo napaka-romantic, classy, and elegant dancer. Na Attorney Lira C. And
nga, oo.
Mr. Yummy Slim. Tama. Sonny
Oo.
Laragan and talented Direct Paula P. Happy Dagdag Kaalaman Day. Hi, Edgar. Kumusta?
Hi, Edgar.
Okay
Oy,
ka?
magaling ka na ba? Pumapasok ka na ba? Wala ka na bang COVID, no? Kasi the last time I've spoken to him, may COVID siya, no? I hope nakabalik na siya sa trabaho at okay na siya, no? Ayan, okay.
Yeah.
Well, ayan. So, yun na muna ating mga initials na mga pagbati today, no? At ano tawag dito? Anong topic natin for today? Ito nga, sige, pakilabas natin direct. Ayan.
Oh.
How to prepare. Ayan.
Yeah,
Sige, go ahead.
immigration statements. The idea of this, galing to kay Mr. Duay, na pinagsabi last Thursday nga, no, we were talking briefly about yung mga statements. So this actually, I got this idea because of the talented Mr. Duay. So I stole the idea from him.
Okay, so sige, take it away, attorney. How to prepare immigration statements. Sige, take it away, attorney.
Okay, so ito po. Now, when you are immigration statements are quite crucial, of course, no? And they are yung nga titignan ng Home Office. And importante po na it's kung ano ang papasok nyo, that it is in a proper format and that you're also dealing with the actual points, no? Dahil yun, so the two immediate things, I mean, of course, they're the documents in support. So kung kailangan yung mga bank statements, mga ganon, of course, they're important. But otherwise, the two main things that I always say to people, kailangan gawin yung maigi nga, no? Magandang pasok nyo, is yung statement and then the cover letter, no? If you're making legal representations, then the legal representations. But of course, if you're doing it yourself, chances are it's the statement that's really you need to pay attention to. So, how to prepare immigration statements? It is astonishing sometimes nga the mistakes that are made by people when they're preparing statements. So, tingnan muna natin yung process, the procedure, because people also get confused sometimes on the formatting, on the format of the statement. So, una po, you can when submitting an application, no, pwede kayong magpasok ng sulat. It doesn't have to be a statement para bang affidavit. So it can be a letter, no? So yung sulat nyo nga, sasabihin nyo doon, ang pangalan nyo, ganon. So supporting letter, it's called, no? Now, if you're making an application or indeed if you're preparing an appeal, no? So na-refuse na kayo and you're making you're appealing, so in support of the appeal, you are you're giving written evidence. Then it can also be what's called a statement in support. Yeah. Now the two are quite different in format, and I'll discuss those. And then the third possibility is that you're submitting what's called a declaration, a statutory declaration. So ang itsura nun, para bang affidavit ang itsura. But the statutory declaration is actually sworn before a solicitor, no? So you take it to a solicitor and you swear the document to be true. You declare it to be true. So let's go through those. So una po, supporting letter. Supporting letters are perfectly fine kung magpapasok kayo nga ng application. Kahit anong application papasok nyo. So it can be a supporting letter. Ako, I tend to not submit just letters, but actually statements in support. Dahil unang-una, it gives it a formality, no, the statements in support. But a letter is also fine kung application. However, if you're submitting an appeal, then a letter on its own may not be enough. It may need to be a statement in support. So, if you're submitting simply a letter, then the letter starts with, I write this letter in support of, no? So, kung hindi nga, kung ikayo, para sa inyo nga mismo, then you would normally say, I write this letter in support of my application, no? For enter clearance visa to remain in the, to enter the UK, or for extension of my leave to remain in the United Kingdom. Kung nandito na kayo, i-extend nyo nga, no? So that's how normally I would start it, no? So it's something fairly nga formal. So, now, if it's a statement ang papasok nyo, because it's you want it to be a bit more formal, marami pa kayong kailangan sabihin nga, so you want it in a kind of affidavit format, or kailangan nyo gamitin para sa appeal, then it should really be a statement in support. Now, if kung statement po, then it starts with, I make this statement, or I provide this statement in support of, no? So kung para sa inyo nga, so you would say, I make this statement in support of my application for, no, enter clearance visa for the UK, or for extension of my leave to remain. Kung hindi sa inyo, then you would normally say, I make this statement in support of, no, SONNY, no, SONNY LARAGAN, in relation to his application for whatever, no? Or make this a statement in support of LIRA in relation to her application for naturalization, for example, no? So, kailangan nyo sabihin, you should always start with, why are you making that statement? Is it for yourself, no, or for someone else? No? Now, kailangan din pong lagay nyo, whatever you do, kung sulat or statement in support or declaration nga, no, then you should also always say, somewhere at the top, sino kayo, ano kayo, anong pangalan mo, no, buo mong pangalan, no. Sometimes people just put it at the bottom, but my tip is lagay nyo sa taas nga, so unang-una hindi nyo makakalimutan, and again it gives it gives it formality. So in my case, it would be, I make this statement, I, LIRA SIMON-CABATBAT of, no, Douglas Simon Solicitors at, no, yung address nga, make the statement in support of, no. So if I'm making the statement in support of SONNY, lalagay ko in support of SONNY in his application for whatever it is. So the three things, as I say, will likely serve the same purpose. You know, letter in support, support, so otherwise called supporting letter, statement in support, no? Para bang affidavit ang itsura, okay? Or statutory declaration. The declaration needs to be sworn before solicitor. Pero kung magpapasok yung application or even an appeal, you don't need it to be sworn before solicitor. It's enough to say you're making the statement knowing the same to be true. So that would be the third thing to look at. So you say for what it's for. I make the statement in support of. Sino kayo? No? Anong address nyo nga dito? And of course, you need to also say that you should also say that you're making this statement knowing the same to be true. So basically, sinasabi nyo, totoo ito yung sinasabi ko. No? So I normally include that. Kahit nga sulat nga lang, I write this letter in support of whoever, and I do so knowing the same to be true. Importante nga din yun. So malalaman nila, you know what you're saying, you're confirming that what you're saying is true. No? So those are the if you like, the things you should not nga forget. Now, if you're preparing a statement, tapos gusto nyo, meron kayong gustong pakitang birth certificate, for example, you want to attach it, you want to refer it, you can also do that. So kung meron kayong statement, sasabihin nyo, I make this, I, LIRA SIMON-CABATBAT of Douglas Simon Solicitors of this address, make the statement knowing the same to be true in support of, no? And then if in that statement I say I refer to my birth certificate of whoever that I produce because kailangan nyo sabihin, no? Now, you don't have to attach an exhibit or to your statement kung nandun naman sa sulat. Pero kung meron kayong gusto nga pakita because it's your document, payslip nyo, for example, or passport nyo, because you want to refer to your ID, then you say so. So in this case, it would be, I, LIRA CABATBAT of Douglas Simon Solicitors make the statement knowing the same to be true. I produce herewith my exhibit LSC1, yung initial ko, LSC1, a copy of my passport, no, showing that, for example, kung ano man ang lahi, that yung Filipino kayo o British nga kayo. So you can refer to exhibits if you want to, no, or if you need to. Now, it's important that when you do refer to exhibits, na yung kopya nga malinaw, ha? Okay? Kung malabo, then you'll just tick off the judge, because they will say, well, I can't read it. No? So, tsaka kung hindi po, kung Tagalog nga, you have to get it translated. Okay? And preferably a certified translation. So if you're preparing a statement and you're referring to documents in support of that statement, importante po lagay nyo so that it's understood, no? So kung hindi English, you need to get it translated. At saka of course na malinaw, no? That it's not cut off. I've also seen documents, especially photographs, no? Photographs na black and white nga lang yung photograph na ina-attach nga, hindi malinaw, no? And when you have a color photograph, if you print that out, when you photocopy it, malabo nga lang, no? It's too dark. So kung ako kayo, I would also include nga color copies, no? Where you can color copies of photographs, passports also is quite useful to have that. So it's important that it's clear. Kung statement nyo or exhibits nyo, it's important it's clear. Now, so yun po ang, if you like, the format, no? When you're preparing statements, what do you need to put in though? The content. Of course, it's one thing to get the formatting correct, nga, that it's all properly noted, that if it must be a declaration, that it's sworn, all that is well and good. But equally important, if not more so, anong nandoon, no? What are you saying? Now, there's little point preparing a statement nga na wala naman tayong sinasabi. And it's also not as useful to be too melodramatic about the statement, no? It must be a good balance between being factual, no? And of course, you can personalize it. So kung anak nyo nga, sinusuportahan yung application niya, importante nga yun, you should also say, no? That you're making the statement in support and how important it is to you. But usually statements are to set out the facts of the case. So it would be things like, so sabihin natin, magpapasok yung application dito sa UK on the basis of your relationship. And that relationship is as a spouse partner nyo nga, no? So when you prepare your statement, you should set out you're making this you made the statement in support. You're making the statement in support of your partner or spouse's application for leave to remain in the UK as your partner, and then you say, go through what the law says. What does the law require? So kung ang application nyo nga is as for a spouse, then alam nyo, no? Kailangan nyo pakita na the relationship is ongoing. Okay? That the income must not be less than 18,600 kung dito even though she's here now or he's here now. That of course there's accommodation. In any event, there's financial support. No? If you need to show also English, why that is. So put it in headings. Okay. So when you say, I make this statement in support of my wife or husband's application for extension of leave to remain as a spouse, go through what the law requires you to show. No? So put headings. No? And it can be income. No? Point 3, income. Lagay nyo doon. My income amounts to, 15,000 pounds per annum. So you need to show 18,600. But my partner and the applicant, my wife or my husband's earns 15,000 also. So our joint income therefore amounts to 30,000 pounds. Sabihin natin, in excess of the required 18,600 pounds. So you have to apply the law or the facts to the law, no? So as I say, don't be shy to head it, no? Subheading nga, income, no? Accommodation, no? Number 4, accommodation. My partner and I, my spouse and I live at whatever it is, no? 102 Sheen Road, where we occupy, where we rent a place. And I refer to to our tenancy agreement herewith as exhibit, no, LSC1. No? Or if it's not exhibited, you don't have to. You can simply say, and I refer to the tenancy agreement is submitted in support of the application. So go through, you should know kung ano mga kailangan pakita, the conditions. Kung ano man yun, deal with them. And as I say, don't be shy to put subheadings. That way, malinaw eh. No? Otherwise, it can get a bit confusing. And in fairness, it can be, quite confusing. Dahil ang dami ninyong kailangan pakita, especially if it's an application outside the normal rules. So, if you're relying on joint income, sabihin nyo, no? Why are you relying on joint income? Or frankly, even though yung income nyo is sapat nga, 18,600 yung income mo, kung may income din yung asawa nyo, lagay nyo din, no? The more money you have, the more impressive it's likely to be. So sabihin nyo, no, our income jointly amounts to 20,000, 30,000, or 40,000 pounds, well in excess of the 18,600. Say so. It's for you to say, yung statements nga, the statements there to back up, no, the application. And so don't lose sight of that purpose. It's less useful to say, oh no, well, you can of course say that you love your wife, you love your husband. No harm in saying that, but you don't have to write paragraphs about it. No? It's important though that you deal with the facts, especially kung may problema. Kung alam niyo may problema nga, deal with it also. No? So if there was a previous refusal, let's say, and you're making this new application, deal with the points of refusal. No? Don't think na if you don't deal with it, makakalimutan nila. Hindi nila makakalimutan. You need to deal with it that way. Pagka tinignan nila yung statement nga, makikita nila, oh, okay, that's why a new application is being made. No? So it is important that you deal with the points of concerns. Huwag niyong kalimutan nga, no? Don't just think that hopefully they forget about it or they don't deal with it nga. You have to deal with it. And so statements are astonishingly important in any application, o kaya nga even more so when you're doing an appeal. Because for the appeal, that is really one of the things, the main thing na titignan nga ng judge. Titignan nga nila ko what are the facts in support of the appeal. So that way also, malinaw nga din, no? So that it's not that you, and it also sets up, when you're giving evidence, no? It could be that you don't have to give so much oral evidence because nandun na nga yung sinasabi nyo, nandun nga sa statement na, no? So I cannot emphasize enough how important statements are, no? Or letters in support, or sometimes nga declaration. If you are in doubt whether you should submit a letter in support or statement in support, I would go with a statement in support, no? And the only difference really, there's just small differences between a letter in support and a statement in support. And a statement in support is a little bit more formal, yung nga, and so otherwise it's still signed nga and still dated. But it follows very similar thing, but it does give it a bit more. Yeah, it looks like an affidavit. It does make it look more formal, and you're also confirming that what you're saying is true. So unless it is just a very brief note, then I would always go with a statement in support. Now, importante nga din po yun, sabihin natin na pass pa yung application, the application is then refused. At least makikita nila when you appeal, no, that you prepared a statement in support. And if it's a good statement in support, it could be that the judge then says, well, hang on, sinabi na nila ang dahilan, nandito nga, no? Why then did you refuse it, Home Office? Yeah. So I can't emphasize enough how important a statement in support or letter in support or declaration is to applications, no? certainly crucial to appeals, but even in applications, importante po yun because you are using that, not just because you need that to support the application, pero kung may mangyari nga, ma-refuse kayo, you can also refer back to the statements that you can say, hindi tinignan maigi ng Home Office yung statement namin, no? So, statements and letters also, legal representations, of course, on top of the documents in support. Yung dalawang po yun, the statement in support and legal representations, absolutely crucial. And I say again, kung may problema nga, you've had a previous refusal, don't forget to deal with it. You have to face it head on. So you can say, in relation to, in fact, I would make a point, no, sa statement nyo, in relation to my refusal dated whatever it is, the Home Office's letter dated 01/01/2022 is stated refused my application on the basis of inlagay nyo, no? So if it's to do with exceptionality or income nga, deal with it. No? Sabihin nyo nga doon, if it was refused because of income, you can certainly say, no, at the time of making the application, if kung kasalanan nyo nga, no, I failed to provide a copy of my last evidence of my income, and it is only for this reason that the application was refused. I now produce, no, my pay slips for whatever period, no, setting out my income. So you deal with the problem. Don't just gloss over it in the hope nga na makakalimutan nila, because they won't. Kung ano man pinasok nyo nga dati, any past applications will always find its way into the Home Office file, no? So it is crucial, kung may problema nga po, deal with it, no? And as not enough time unfortunately spent on statements, no? And a lot of refusals that I see when we need to appeal could have been prevented if the statements were just better. No? And sometimes, unusually, statements are not even prepared. Mga documents nga lang. That, I would say, would be a mistake. So it is for you to prove your case. And a big part of being able to do that is yung statements nyo po. No? So importante nga yun. So if you are pushed for time, make sure you allocate enough time. Hindi nyo madaliin, no? You should allocate enough time to prepare your statement nga in support. And don't be tempted to have, I also see this, unfortunately, too often is, letters from mga kaibigan nyo, no? Exactly the same letters, times 20. It's just different names at the top, tapos ibang pumipirma. That's not helpful. No? If you're preparing statements in support of, say, to show that the relationship nga is genuine, is it better to have, say, 2 rather than 20 if the 2 statements or 2 letters nga are coming from friends that know you or family that know you well, no? Masasabi nga nila, oh yes, last week nagkita nga kami, we barbecued, for example, no? So it has to be bespoke to your circumstances, not those standard templates. The standard templates, I suspect that the Home Office don't even read them, no? So it would be a waste of time, really, to submit documents that are just templated, no? So beware, as I say, yung statements are crucial to a successful application and absolutely necessary in any appeal. And in fact, if you don't submit a statement in support of an appeal, the judge will likely say, well, what happened to it? You know? So the moral of the story is prepare good statements. It will save you time, money, and heartache later on.
Okay.
So
All right. Ayan, okay, attorney. Ayan. Templated, ha? Pangit yung templated, mahalata yun, no?
Huwag yung gagawin.
Huwag yung gagawin. When you say melodramatic, huwag maging melodramatic. Ano ibig sabihin? Ano may example ng melodramatic? Yung pasyadong madrama. Paano example ng melodramatic?
Yeah. Well, it's really a question. It's a balance, you know. So sometimes I come across mga letters in support or statements, and it just purely yung nga, no, it's just your feelings nga lang, no? And the feelings are of course important, but really, it's not perhaps as important as setting out the facts. So it would be things like, oh, I'm not. It's very common, for example, where an application has been refused on sole responsibility. So sabihin natin, yung nanay nagpasok ng application para yung anak niya makapasok nga dito, no? So entry visa for the child to join her in the UK. So it's then refused dahil sabi nga there's no sole responsibility. So hindi nga siyang bahala sa bata. And the many times that I see the statements in support start with, oh, hindi ko siya nakita from the age of 1, no? Ngayon, he's now 17. At least gusto ko man siya makapiling dahil nga nagsakripisyo nga ako nung pumunta ako sa London dahil kailangan ko magpadala para nga sa kanila. Now, that's all well and good. But of course, ang ginagawa nyo in putting that in is you're emphasizing the fact na hindi na kayo, you've been separated for 16 years from the age of 1 until the age of 17. No? And that's not really what you want to do on an appeal or indeed on an application where it could be ng issue is sole responsibility. So there you have, I can see why, no? Nilagay nga nila na yung they haven't seen each other for however many years. I can see why, but really that's probably not the unang-una nga, it's not really what they want to see. Dahil gusto na makita, you have sole responsibility. Ikaw ang bahala sa bata. You have responsibility. And so to say differently, na hindi nga ako nakita for about 17 years, that part doesn't help your case.
Okay, so parang importante yung yung what you're saying, yun nga sabi mo is key yan, yung points of concern rather than parang superfluous and everything, melodramatic and everything. Mas mabuting direkta na sa punto, no? Like for example, how much you love the person, you don't have to devote paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, no? Ganun. Meron bang ideal na number, for example, when you sa statement, meron bang ideal number of pages na you think that will be more or less the best parang average for the whoever reads it? Meron bang parang parang more or less average?
No, not really. And don't also be don't limit yourself to 1 page or 2 pages, no? So you should put forward the relevant facts, no? But more does not mean better, no? I've also seen statements that go on for pages and pages and pages. Well, I mean, but it doesn't really help the case, no? So that's why I'm saying headings are quite important. I find give structure. And pagka binabasa nga nila, makikita nila, okay, gusto ko makita, nasa ba yung accommodation? Makikita na may heading accommodation, no? So the idea is to make it easier for the decision maker to understand, the facts of the case. So if you need 5 pages or 10 pages not to explain it, hindi problema. It's more question of relevance.
Okay. Tama, relevance. Kaya yung pinupunto mo, no? Yun ang pinaka-importante. Okay. Right. Would it help? Kamukha sa bar examination sa Pilipinas, no? The reason why some bar examinees, those who'd like to be lawyers, fail their exams is one is penmanship, na hindi maintindihan ng magbabasa. Although, siyempre, sa mga statements, naman yan, naka-word siguro, document, maayos na. Pero, ang gusto ko lang sabihin, for example, yung penmanship at saka yung grammar. Maayos yung would it also help if they ask some help from I don't know, probably somebody, mga writers for hire or whoever? Should it be a well written statement ba? Yung bang alam mo na, yung kailangan maganda ang concise, direct to the point, or clear, ganyan, hindi ambiguous. Would it help for our kababayans to get somebody to write it for them?
Clear is actually exactly right, no? It doesn't have to be anything formal, huh? So you don't have to, you don't have to go under workforce and what down, So it doesn't have to be nga like that. Yung nga, ang importante yung klaro, And yung kailangan sabihin, nandoon nga. So if it's a question of spouse application, then you deal with yung mga conditions. So you don't necessarily need someone to do that for you. But kung hindi ka confident, then it may be an idea to get nga some help, at least some guidance, Now as to penmanship, it's a good idea to type it out, and I find nga even the best penmanship can be a bit harder to read than typed out version of statements. So kung ako kayo, unless it's impossible to do, ang payo ko, get it typed out, Get typed out and make sure na hindi nga maliliit, maliit yung mga the fonts, enough spacing also. No, let's say don't be shy in using up paper. Yung nga lang, make it very clear. So unless it's absolutely, unless you really can't do it, get a typed version of the statement. It doesn't matter kung kahit magandang penmanship nyo, don't be tempted to write it out because for you, it comes across more personal. They don't care about that. Ang pinaka-importante, mababasa nila.
Okay, all right. Pero mas advisable, attorney, colored copies, no? Mas colored copies na talaga, no? You mentioned, tama ba?
Yeah.
As much
colored
as possible?
copies of exhibits,
Exhibits,
so yung
yeah.
passport, passports
Okay.
nyo is especially Filipino passport,
Oo.
Also the same goes for British passports. Pagka kinopya, the Filipino passport, I find pagka kopya nga black and white, it's too dark. The British passport, pagka may kopya nga, if it's black and white, it's too light. But if you have color copies, then it's clear. Dahil kailangan na makita, Hindi, kung malabo, the judge, if it goes before court now, the tribunal nga, the judge will say, I can't see this properly.
Teka muna, ito medyo, baka hindi, medyo, medyo naka-side, hindi itong topic natin. Gusto ko lang tanong, talking about passports, may bago na bang passport ang British passport? Blue na ba ang passport natin?
Yeah,
Pwede na ba tayo?
I've seen blue ones. Yeah, I've seen blue ones.
Pwede ka na mag-apply?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen blue ones. Oh, only a few though. Maybe a handful of blue ones. Yeah, they you can now.
Okay.
Blue ones.
Kasi
Pero
mine is malabo.
Yeah, well, pagka kinopya mo, you'll find actually it's less clear than the red ones.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yung photo section. I'm not really sure quite what they've done there, but when you photocopy it in black and white nga, it doesn't come out very clear.
Kaya pala sila, okay, tama, okay, all right. Kasi nga, meron pa rin ako ng pula, yung ating nasa EU pa tayo, di ba? Oo.
Yeah, ako nga din eh.
Ganun ba? 2027 pa yata matatapos siya sa akin eh. So, okay, we're gonna have a short break, attorney, and we're gonna make way when we come back. We're gonna make way to all the questions na meron tayo rito sa ating programa. Okay, so baka pwede pa ako yung humabol ng mga questions nyo. Pwede yung you have the time, Ito, we're gonna have a short break at pagbalik natin, we're gonna read out some of the questions.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
%100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce Stilettos.
The only true local community newspaper in the United Kingdom. www.yesnewsnet.com.
Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio, UK. Pinoy Radio, UK. Sumasahing papawid, 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy ho tayo sa ating programa. We're back on the show. Ito po ang Immigration Corner on a Happy Thursday. Kasama natin once again, siyempre, si Attorney LIRA, SIMON-CABATBAT. At may mga tanong, Attorney. Sisimulan na natin, no? Good evening, once again.
Yes.
Happy Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday
Okay,
po.
let's go. Meron ba tayong, may bumper ba tayo dyan o wala? Meron. Okay. Sige, take it away. Yeah, may OBB tayo, no? Opening billboard. Okidoki. Ayan, first question, direct. Sige, let's go. Go, go, go. Ayan. Attorney, go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Galing kay Jared Jonathan, the one with the lovely name, no? So, hello, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Good evening to both of you. I'm sending a message to ask kung paano po bang makumuha ng extension visa dito sa UK. Hope you can give me the requirements that I need to prepare and also an idea on the step-by-step process. Thanks to you both and have a happy evening. Okay, Jared.
He's watching right now. Attorney, he's watching right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Na nga. Yeah. So Jared, ito po. It depends really kung anong application, no? So the requirements will depend on the type of application, therefore extension you're submitting. So kung spouse visa application, then I can absolutely provide you with the list of documents to show. Kung indefinitely to remain, no?
Sorry, microphone.
So kailangan nyo sabihin mo sa amin, Jared, ano bang klaseng extension? Anong bang klaseng visa gusto mong i-extend, no? Para sa iyo, kaibigan mo. So when you have that, then I'm able to say to you, okay, ito mga requirements. As to the step-by-step process, it's actually relevant to yung pinag-usapan nga natin kanina. Unang-una po, statement, no, in support. That's so important. At saka, of course, the letter in support also, ililista mo nga doon kung anong papasok nyo, and any other documents that need to be submitted. So, Jared, I'm happy to assist. Kailangan mo nga lang sabihin sa akin, ano bang klaseng visa mo ngayon? And therefore, I can then say to you, anong mga requirements?
Okay, ayan, si Jared, no? Okay. Okay, ayan. Yun ating first question, si Jared Jonathan. Okidoki. All right. Next question natin. Ito, from Kate Bridges. Ayun. Sige, Attorney.
Okay. So, Kate, good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. May question lang po ako regarding sa renewal ng spouse visa. Is it possible po ba to renew even if nakatira pa rin po kami sa parents' house ng British husband ko? Meaning no bills under our both names. Also, I'm not under council tax bill and the bill is not addressed to his mother's name. Lastly po, the house is not under my husband's name. Looking forward to your advice. Okay, Kate. Yes, absolutely. You can still renew. Yung nga lang, you need to work a little bit harder. So, kung nakikitira nga kayo, yun yung una, nakikitira kayo, hindi yung problema. Kailangan nga lang sulat galing sa magulang nga niya to say,
Solo na
Kate,
siya, nagsasalita na siya. Dapat siyang nakaano na. Oh,
Ano po?
Okay.
Narinig niyo ako? Sorry, narinig niyo ako. Okay, so,
Teka lang, pumapasok ba ang audio ko? Wala.
Ngayon wala. Kanina, ewan ko kung anong nangyari. Ngayon hindi. Pero narinig niyo ako?
Yes, okay,
So,
yes.
So, hopefully naririnig niyo ako. So, Kate, ito po. Yun, hindi po yung, of course, pasok niyo pa rin nga ang application. Yung nga lang, kailangan yung sulat galing sa magulang niya, no? So, unang-una sasabihin nila, okay, si Kate at saka yung anak namin na nakatira sa amin in this address, the tenancy, for example, is under my name, yun sa nanay nga niya, and they do not pay any of the bills, or they contribute towards the bills, but the bills are not in their name. So okay po yun. Pangalawa, so yung may sulat nga galing kay nanay. Pangalawa po, yung tenancy ni nanay, kailangan nyo pa rin pakita, no? So you need to link it na doon kayo nakatira, pero yung tenancy nga sa pangalan ng nanay niya. Now, with bills, because kailangan nyo pakita, of course, nagsasama nga kayo. Wala ka sa council tax at sa mga bills nga, of course, hindi nga sa pangalan mo dahil hindi sa'yo bumabagsak. Again, yung nanay nga niya, kailangan niya sabihin doon, okay, all the utility bills are actually in my name, and for that reason, the Kate is not noted. But Kate, kailangan, don't forget, kailangan niyo pa rin pakita nga, no, na nagsasama nga kayo. So you have to come up with additional and alternative evidence of your relationship. So it could be things like doctor, no, yung GP letter, that you registered with the same doctor, let's say. Kung meron kayong bank statements na nandun nga bumabagsak yung sa address niyo, kung meron kang bank statement. Kung nagpapadala ka sa atin, meron kang mga remittances, no? Nandun din ang address nga. And of course, in this case, importante po, sulat yan sa asawa mo yung statement, no? At di nga niya doon, explain nga niya doon, bakit wala kayong mga, walang pangalan mo dito mga documents nga. So he needs to explain it. And this is a prime example of how important it is to have a good statement to deal with it, no? Sabi nyo, we've not been able to produce documents, joint documents, because the tenancy is under my mother's name, the bills likewise, but as an alternative, we have provided. So you explain it. But absolutely you can. You not only have to work that much harder, that you still need to provide evidence.
So there are a couple of statements from her and from the husband. Gina ba?
Yeah, yung nga po. So statements from her. So her statement nga, can also be a letter, but a statement is probably better, especially in this case. So the statement in support would say, deal with it head on. No, I do not have documents noting my address at the same address as my husband because, no, and the reason is because it's the tenancy is in my mother-in-law's name, no, and the bills are likewise in her name, but she has provided a letter in support or statement in support of of my application explaining this. Deal with it, okay? Otherwise, they may refuse it dahil hindi sila naniniwala na nagsasama nga kayo dun sa address.
Pero ano yan parang curious ako, attorney, paano niyo nakakuha in the first place kung isn't it that the parang a stronger case of getting the spouse, be it a spouse or a fiancé, is yung accommodation, yung evidence of funds, or yung may hanap buhay, a certain amount, 18,600. So paano to? Ibig sabihin renewal. Pero paano nakakuha in the first place yan? I don't know, parang naguguluhan ako.
It's not actually unusual. I see quite a lot of cases na nandito nakatira yung asawa, o nakatira yung asawa dito sa magulang nga niya, no?
Okay.
So yung magulang niya, silang nagrerenta ng bahay, silang nagbabayad lahat mga bills, no? And that pagka nandito na, so again, you explain it in the application na doon kayo titira yung asawa mo. and the circumstances, those circumstances just remain, no? And then you get to the extension, ganyan pa rin. Wala pa rin kayong bills, wala pa rin kayong tenancy agreement. It's actually not an unusual case. But if you make an application to come into the United Kingdom or to extend your visa, pero wala nga kayong documents, joint documents in support, you need to explain it. And as long as the explanation is accepted na and it's clear para sa Home Office, they should nevertheless grant you leave to enter the UK or indeed extend na dito. Because nothing in the rules say na you can't live with your parents, no? But you do need to show that you have accommodation that is suitable for you both.
Okay. Yung audio mo, medyo nagsa-cycle na mihina, lumalakas, no? Attorney.
Oh, sorry.
Because of your audio, ngayon, for tonight lang, no? So, ayan. Okay. So Nancy Amores, Nicole, Attorney Lira and Sonny, good evening. I have a question for how long could a British citizen stay outside of the UK? Yan, Grangemouth. Grangemouth ba yan? Muth, no?
Grangemouth. Oh, okay, Nancy. No, a British citizen can stay as long as they want. I mean, they're British, no? So there's no limit. So unlike yung indefinite leave to remain po, no? Yung indefinite leave to remain, yung permanent resident nga, there you have the 2 years deadline. Kung wala kayo dito for 2 years plus, tuloy-tuloy, babawiin nila yung indefinite leave to remain, yung permanent residence. Pero kung British na kayo, walang problema. You can be out of the country for 40, 50 years. British kayo. You can still come into the UK unless bawiin nila, which they won't do just because you have not been in the UK for the length of time, for a long time.
Paki-explain, attorney, yung isa namang situation, yung kunyari, wala ako sa picture. Ba't kaya ako wala sa okay, sige. Okay. Direct botones na lang siguro para mabilis. Botones mo na lang yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ano ba gusto ko sabihin? Yung oops, teka muna, ba't nawala tayo? Dali lang, attorney, parang biglang nag-out yung Okay, ano ba tawag dito? Yung permanent residency, yun. So, itong situation ito, British citizen, pagka once British citizens ka, forever yun. So, anytime, maski umalis ka ng UK for how many, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, pwede ka pa rin bumalik anytime, di ba? Pero kung
Absolutely.
Kung permanent resident, ano ba permanent resident? Yung ILR is permanent, yun ba yun? Indefinite leave to remain.
Opo.
Yun ang permanent resident, di ba?
Opo. So yung
Yes. Paki-explain niya para sa kapakinabangan ng ating mga kababayan na yun naman may nagtatanong din, teka muna, ILR na ako nasa Pilipinas ako o nasa ibang bansa ako. Meron ba limitation?
Opo, yeah, definitely may limit yun. So, just going back to the question nga, no, British citizen, if you're away for 20 years, hindi po yung problema, no? Iba po yung indefinite leave to remain. So, indefinite leave to remain, otherwise known as permanent resident, otherwise known as settlement status, no? In the United Kingdom. So, residente na nga kayo. So, you don't have to keep renewing. Pero kung yun po ang status nyo dito, residente nga kayo dito, hindi naman ibig sabihin na sa inyo na yun forever, ha? Kung wala kayo dito for more than 2 years na tuloy-tuloy, it's automatically withdrawn. So, ibig po sabihin, you lose it, no? It's automatically lost. They don't even need to do anything about it. Kung wala kayo 2 years tuloy-tuloy dito sa UK, ibig sabihin, mawawala po yung indefinite leave to remain nyo, otherwise known as permanent residence, otherwise known as settlement status. So that's the main big difference between indefinite leave to remain, settlement, or permanent residence, and that of British citizenship.
Attorney, when you say mawawala, no? As in talaga mawawala? Wala ka na talaga. You cannot appeal, you cannot come up with anything? Wala bang remedy? Wala na bang recourse?
You can, kung mawala nga, then you can, of course, you can make another application, returning resident route, no? And then if that application is refused, then you can appeal nga. But unang-una, pagka nawala na yun, you then need to make an application to get it back. No? And you would only get it back kung mapapakita nyo nga na you have maintained strong ties in the United Kingdom. Because of course, kung wala na kayo dito, absent na kayo 2 years plus, then it could be that you have lost, they will probably say you've lost the ties of residence in the UK.
So advisable, once na may ILR, indefinite leave, try your best to well, not really convert, parang yun nga, for the naturalization, para maging British citizen ka na, para meron ka ng passport, no? Pero ang what's holding some people back is that nag-iipon pa ako eh. Magkano naman ngayon pagka ano ka?
Oh, yeah, it's quite a bit actually. I think it's well, saying that naturalization, I think it's 1,000 to 1,300, no? To apply for the naturalization, and then separately from that is the British passport, which is a couple of £100 nga. I find a lot of people yung test, yun ang problema, no?
Yung test, yeah. Yung life in the UK test.
Life in the UK. Then kung matagal nyo na nakuha yung indefinite leave to remain, then chances are you didn't have to do the test, because the test was introduced 10 years ago, no?
Okay.
And I find a lot of people, they don't want to take the life in the UK test. So ginagawa nila, either they wait for until age 65 when they become exempt from the life in the UK test, or yung nga 65 is a long time, no? Or you just don't apply, which can be a bit of a shame. In fact, I'm dealing with a couple of cases nga at the moment that lumabas nga sila, they had they just life got in the way, nagkasakit nga yung mga magulang, and then 2 years had passed. In fact, in one case 4 years had passed, hindi nga siya bumalik dito, and part of it is wala nga siyang pera, na bumalik dito. So the problem now is nawala nga yung indefinite niya.
Okay. Merong mga I was surprised to find out may mga Pilipino na who've been here for a long time, na napakatagal na, and yet you would be surprised to find out that they lang sila, yung indefinite leave to remain, no? Would there be problems? Sila ba'y nangangamba or something? What are the things na pwedeng hindi sila maaprobahan na for naturalization? Because yun nga, marami akong na mga Pilipino na pa rin, nasa ILR lang, no? Di ba, mas maganda yung mag-naturalization ka, para ang dali mo lang pumasok in and out, no? Kasi kung ILR ka, mag-apply, punta ka Amerika, kukuha ka ng visa. Pag, may ganun pa eh. Whereas kung UK citizen ka, you just go to the US straight away, no? Anong dahilan? What's preventing some Pinoys from, getting naturalized? These are people who've been ILR for 15, 20 years, 30 years, I don't know, no? Ganun eh. May nakikita ko eh.
Yeah.
Bakit?
No. Tama ka, Sonny. And I think tama ka nga din. Top of the list is yung pera, no? Because it's quite a lot of money to apply for naturalization and then later on British passport. And then usually the second reason for it is yung test, the life in the UK and the English language, the B1 test. The English language not so bad, but in life in the UK, that's quite a hard certificate to get actually. So that would be then second. And the third thing often is people just hindi yun ang plano nila, no? They think, well, nandito naman ako, mayroong permanente naman na ako dito. Kung uuwi ako, di uuwi na lang ko, no? Magpupugod na ako sa Pinas. But that's not often what happens. Nagpugod sila, tapos 2 years have passed, no? Maybe sometimes 3 years na had passed. Tapos nagbagong sitwasyon. Sabihin natin, umuwi nga sila dahil gusto nilang kasama nga yung asawa nga nila, di natin namatay, no? O kaya nagkasakit kayo, no? And you want to come back into the United Kingdom. Then it's a problem, no? So the top reasons, tama ka, I think it's pera, life in the UK test, and sometimes people just can't have not bothered dahil hindi nga yun ang plano nga nila.
Kumuha yata ako Life in the UK test. I don't know if it was the second year when it was implemented. I don't know. Kailan ba yan? 2005 yata ako nag-Life in the UK test.
Yeah, a while.
So, how many years ago yon? Mga 16, 17 years ago?
Yeah.
When I took it, no? Libro pa. Libro lang yung malipis na libro.
Yun na, makapal na ngayon.
Makapal na ngayon, oo. Ngayon, marami parang online. Para ba yung driver's, yung theory ng driving? Ngayon, di ba, may libro ka, pero at the same time, pwede kang parang online or digital or something,
Yeah.
May CD-ROM or whatever, ganyan, no? Pero noon, libro lang, binabasa ko lang, binabasa lang. Pero ngayon, dami lang mga aids, no? Learning aids, no? Which is, pero mahirap pa rin.
Yeah.
When I looked at the first exam that I had, compared to some of the material now, malaki na kaibahan eh. Ang laki ng mga updated, edited, ang dami na, no? Wala na. Yung mga, some of the questions na nandun sa aking original, hindi ko makita dito sa sa bago. But yeah, so yeah, that's quite interesting. Yes, sorry, go ahead, attorney. You were about to say something?
Tama ka. Tama ka. I think if anything, it's probably got harder, no, the test.
Oh, yeah. Just like the driving. Just like the driving. The driving, ano tawag dito? Theory test, magte-test ka. Tapos, pagkatapos, dinagdagan na ng hazard perception test. So, you're having two tests, whereas, let's say, a certain period, before that period, before it was implemented, yung exam lang, yung theory, driving theory test. Pagkatapos ng panahon ng a certain period, naging dalawa na, may hazard perception test. So,
yes.
you could ngayon, di ba, parang Life in the UK test, tas may English test pa yata, English pa.
Tama.
Di ba?
E1. Yeah.
May kausap ako, yung mother nandito, pero the reason why yung father hindi sumasama pa, is because, parang hindi siya confident sa English niya. Something like that well, anyway, so yun, something like that. Nakakatuwa naman. Okay, teka muna, may isang question tayo nito. Sige, let's have one final question dito. Sige, attorney yan.
Okay.
Cristel William.
Galing Cristel, good day, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. I have a bit of concern. I got my ILR before I separated from my husband. Now, I already filed the divorce, and I'm worried if maapektuhan po ba ang pag-apply ko for naturalization. Thanks to you both. Cristel, probably not is the quick answer to that. Now, kung kasal ka pa, then you don't have to wait.
Oh, sorry.
Ano pa?
Sorry, attorney, bukas pa kasi yung mic ko pa. Basta hindi, bigla sinwitch ni direct, hindi ko makita ngayon. Hindi ko eh. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. So, Cristel, ito, probably not is the quick answer. And the reason I say that is this. So, kung kasal ka pa, no, and British nga yung asawa mo, then you don't need to wait the usual 12 months after getting indefinite leave to remain, yung ILR mo, to then apply for naturalization. So, yun una. But it doesn't look like that's a problem for you anyway. So, I'm guessing nakuha mo yung indefinite leave to remain mo more than a year ago, and then you separated. Now, kung yung nga, and then you've been, so if you've been in the United Kingdom na a minimum of 5 years, the last 12 months must be indefinite, and you have not been absent for longer than 450 days in the last 5 years, and 90 days in the last 12 months, pwede ka pa rin magpasok ng application for naturalization. So, the fact that you're divorced should not really make a difference to the application. So, okay ka pa rin, Kristen.
Oh, that's good news. Good news yan, no? Di ba, attorney? No, pwede. Kasi nakuha na niya yung ILR niya eh. So, there's hindi masyadong stressful, no? Pero I know somebody from before pa na tiniis-tiis niya yung, doon sa asawa niya, na kinuha niya pa yung, yung kanya citizenship. Pero yung ganun situation ba, maski ILR tapos gusto niya na humiwalay, okay pa rin, wala na problema?
Yeah, kung indefinite ka na.
Okay na,
no?
indefinite na, okay.
Yeah, nga.
Okay. Alright, may tanong tayo dito. Sino to? Si Edgar Dua, yan. Attorney, yan.
So, paki-explain po ang advantage ng pagiging dual citizen over pure Brit citizen. Dami kasing nagtatanong sa akin, Irene wants to be dual citizen. For me, I don't want to. It's just buying property. No, Edgar, that's actually a very good point, no? I mean, it's, look, kung dito na kayo nakatira, then I don't see, I think it's impractical, no, to not apply to become British. No? Dahil pwede naman tayo maging dual eh. No? So you can have then the advantage of being Filipino and also British nga. And of course, kung British passport holder ka, I mean, let's face it, it is easier to travel. No? Now, so kung, in the past, people didn't want to become dual because of the double taxation, pero wala na po yun. No? So kung Filipino passport holder ka, it also means that pwede kang bumili tama, it's buying property. You can buy property nga in the Philippines. And there's no double taxation na nga. So, I see at the moment very little disadvantage na in becoming dual citizen. Because it's it just means you have two nationalities nga. It becomes though a problem kung sabihin natin you are triple citizenship. So, if you are British, Filipino, and sabihin natin German, because some countries do not actually allow triple citizenship. So, it could be that in applying to become, say, German, no, you may then need to lose one of the two, that is the Philippine citizenship or the British citizenship. So, if it's check out, no, the country that you want the third citizenship for, so to ensure nga na you don't lose the other two. That of course, kung dito ka nakatira, the last thing you want is to lose the British citizenship. So tama ka, Edgar. No, it is it's a point of concern for some people. But ako, when people ask me, if your circumstances are like normal circumstances, I would say there's probably very little disadvantage in becoming dual.
Yan rin ang reason why I am sort of holding out. Kasi nung nabasa ko sa likod, kasi parang sa likod ng ating passport, hindi ka pinipigilan ng parang citizenship mo sa ibang mga nationality. And secondly, for example, di ba, if something happens sa Hong Kong, other than the Philippines, meron tayo, nasa Qatar ako or whatever, or Australia, being a British citizen, the British embassy will come to my, not really rescue, pero ibig sabihin, di ba, may maaalalayan ka, no? Kunyari, kung may napatay ako o may nagawa akong kalukuhan sa Australia o kaya Singapore, wherever, British ako, di ba? Pero kung sa Pilipinas ako, nakapatay ako, whatever, may crime ako roon or whatever, walang magagawa yung British because doon ka galing eh. 'Di ba? Ang mag-ano sa iyo, may precedence yung Philippine nationality mo, 'di ba? Tama ba 'yan?
Yeah, no, tama ka. That could be. Also kung if you're dual tapos nasa Pinas ka, tapos something happens nga no sa Pinas, then yeah, absolutely. No, the British authorities will not come to your rescue because of course you're Filipino national, no?
Even if you're not dual, attorney, even if you're not dual, because galing ka ng Filipinas dati, hindi ba? Ganun pa rin ba?
Yeah, I think there's a point to that. Dahil nga, of course, we derive our citizenship by blood, no? Tayo. And so, even though you don't necessarily hold the passport anymore, it doesn't mean that you're not necessarily Filipino unless you renounce your citizenship, no? Which some people, of course, do. So yeah, no, an argument can be made by the British authorities that once Filipino, you're always Filipino, no? Because you derive it by blood.
Okay. In that case, walang advantage yung being dual citizen halimbawa lang, as a Filipino and then as a British, di ba? Because hindi mo magagamit yung pagka-British citizen mo doon sa Pilipinas.
Yeah, I mean, especially during COVID, though, it's been useful to be dual, no? Because there was,
Okay.
of course, a block
Oh, yes.
before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tama.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's and at the time, the only people it seems that were being allowed is if you had Filipino passport. I don't actually think that that's necessarily correct, because you can certainly argue that you're natural born Filipino, no? I would be certainly, no. So it's there are advantages, and of course there are some countries that's probably better to have a Filipino passport, Far Eastern countries, for example, than potentially the British passport.
Ayan. Alam mo, kung ako gusto ko tatlong passport, the British, Filipino, at saka Spanish passport. No?
Yeah, yun na nga. Tama ka,
Pwede kasi,
tama
no?
ka.
Pwede. Okay. Well, sige, may mga huling pagbati tayo. At yun na muna yung last question natin. Okay, mga last question natin. Sige, yung mga pagbati natin. Alright, sige. Sequence mo, direct na. Balikan mo ba yung kung saan ang huli ng ano, no? Ayan, Annalie Antepuesto. Hi, Kuya Edgar. Duway and Wifey are... kasi binati niya kanina. Hindi lumabas yun eh. And which are... Wifey are... Ate Irene, Nanay Emmeline. Okay. Binabati niya. Kuya Edgardo, Tita Cora, Direct Pau, and to all viewers, stay safe and healthy po. God bless po. Okay.
Yeah,
Sige.
I know.
Magaling na po. At work. Nasa work siya.
No, Edgar!
Okay, Edgar. Okay. Sino pa ang mga pagbati natin
Sorry.
dyan?
Yeah.
Very useful info. Salamat ng marami. Okay.
Wala pong anuman.
Ito yung Hi Analo. Kaya sumagot siya. Hi Analo. Okay. Sino to? Easy Barrientos.
Yeah.
YouTube to. YouTube. So pwede nyo tayo
Mo.
panoorin sa YouTube. YouTube sa Filipino TV Europe, no? Good evening, lovely Attorney Lira and Pogi Sir Sunny. Talaga kaya we enjoyed this night, no? Lovely and Pogi. Happy Thursday, everyone. Maria Ivana Bon? No? No?
Noel, yeah.
Noel. Mga sir.
Bon Noel po.
Sa pangalan niya, Maria Ivana. Pero sabi niya, Bon Noel. Ang Bon ba? Good, no? Good, no? Ano ba Noel? Noel. Ano ba yung Noel? Watching from Rome, Italy. Italian. Pilipina.
Of course.
Nasa Italy. Hi. Mabuhay ka, ha? Si Teresita Ortman, good evening po. Thank you, ha? Teresita, nice, ha? She watches in the evening, she watches during the day. Kasi yung Sunny Laragan show, nagbalik na, no? So, thank you, no? Very clear, Attorney Analu Antepuesto. Ayun. Oo. Sige. Ano pa ba yan? Sige. Meron pa ba dyan? Si Ma'am Cora. Hello, Sir Sunny, Attorney Ira and all. Happy and productive night. Tama. May natutunan naman tayo for tonight, no? Ma'am Cora, no? Tungkol sa mga statements, how to prepare immigration statements. Ayan. All right. Okay, well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Siguro, Attorney, meron ka pang mga nice idagdag, may shout-outs or to let them know how to contact you in case? Go right ahead, please.
Okay. So, yeah. Now, thanks. Salamat po ulit for joining us. No, it really is it's so good of you, and I really do enjoy it. Now, kung if I've not clarified things nga o meron kang idagdag, feel free to email me. Kung email ko po, kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. You're very welcome to also call me, of course, 0203-375-0555. Pero kung mag-i-email po kayo, lagay niyo po dun sa subject ng Immigration Corner. So, pwede kong balikan, no? If I open it and close it, so I can always go back there. And huwag niyo kamutan, if you can, just put also your telephone number, your contact number. Sometimes, mas maigi nga na tatawagan ko nga lang kayo. Sometimes it's easier to discuss things by phone. So feel free. Now, otherwise, again, thank you po ulit, and shout out to the Whitings who I saw today. So sabi ko sa if that's okay, I'll still shout out. So it's a real joy, it's a real pleasure, to be with you. So hopefully you come join us again next week.
Yes, so next week again. So happy Thursday. Well, okay. Well, I hope you guys had a great time tonight, just as me and Attorney had fun, doing the show for you guys. No, so maraming salamat for being there. So we'll do it again, Attorney. No, so Sa ngalan ni Attorney Lira SIMON-CABATBAT, ni Attorney Direk Pao, ito po si Sonny Laragan nagsasabing thank you very much again as always sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay dito sa ating Immigration Corner. So we're gonna do it again next week. Do another Happy Thursday Immigration Center. So till then, take care, God bless, and good night. Bye-bye.
Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasahing papawid 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.